You rise as Shogun, ruler of Japan, the most powerful man in the land. Samurai kneel, Daimyo bow. Even the emperor, once considered divine, is now just a puppet signing your paperwork. But by the time you die at 53, your body is rotting, your family despises you, and the empire you forged out of blood begins to crack. How does a god become nothing? This is your life as a shogun, a story of ambition, betrayal, and paranoia. And trust me, power looks far less glamorous when you raid the one drowning in it. It's 1549, the Sengoku Jidai, Japan's warring states period. Imagine over 100 warlords carving the country into scraps, each dreaming of uniting it under their banner. You were born the son of a daimyo, but congratulations, that just means you've inherited a front row seat to chaos. At 6, you were ripped from your mother's arms and shipped off as a political hostage. This was standard practice. Rival clans kept each other's children as bargaining chips. Sweet system, right? Kids as currency. And if your father rebels, well, you won't be coming home with souvenirs. You'll be coming home in a box, minus your head. The fortress you're dumped into reeks of mold, piss, and betrayal. Your straw mat scratches your skin raw, and the rice you choke down is crawling with weevils. Delicious. Even worse are the guards. They remind you every night that your throat could be slit in your sleep. Childhood. Never heard of it. At least you don't have to do homework. Unless you count staying alive as homework, which, to be fair, is the only subject that really matters. At 8, the samurai training begins. You swing a wooden sword until your hands blister and bleed. Miss a strike. Crack a bamboo across your back. Cry harder. Because weakness is just another excuse for punishment. You learn quickly in Sengoku Japan, compassion is a luxury, like silk robes or clean water. At 12, a rival boy smashes your last comfort, a wooden horse your mother gave you. He laughs. Love is for losers. That day, you learn your first true samurai lesson, care. And you bleed. At 14, your father tests you with fire. Bandits torch a village. Amid the chaos, a peasant girl clutches a broken doll and begs you for help. For a moment, you hear your mother's whisper, "Stay soft." But your father's glare promises death for disobedience. You lower your blade. The bandits drag her into the dark. Her screams echo in your mind for years. That night you learn, kindness isn't weakness, it's suicide. This was the reality of the Sengoku Jidai. Villages were pawns in endless wars. Ordinary people weren't citizens, they were kindling. Burn today, rebuild tomorrow. Your father's lesson was the same lesson every warlord believed: mercy is a crack in the armor. And cracks get you killed. At 15, you lead men for the first time. The rain pelts your armor as you cut down a screaming boy your age. It's your first kill. You vomit that night, not from guilt, but because you realize guilt has no place in your chest anymore. The boy in you is dead. The samurai has been born. At 20, a vassal tries to assassinate you in your sleep. The blade grazes your ribs. You don't just kill him, you flay him alive. His screams echo through the halls like a symphony of pain. His servant begs for mercy. You kill him too. Lesson learned. Trust is just a polite word for waiting to be stabbed. They say keep your friends close and your enemies closer, but in Sengoku Japan, both groups just want you dead. So, best to keep everyone 6 feet under. Problem solved. At 25, comes your crucible, the Battle of Sekigahara, 1600. 160,000 samurai clash in the mud and smoke. Muskets thunder, arrows rain, blades hack. You betray allies, but you're prisoners. And when the mist clears, you stand triumphant. This victory unifies Japan under your rule. The emperor grants you the title of Shogun. Finally, the dream of centuries fulfilled. In reality, Tokugawa Ieyasu the Manyu won Sekigahara and became shogun in 1603, ushering in 260 years of Tokugawa rule. But for you, victory is no blessing. It's just the beginning of a much darker game. As shogun, you don't rule Japan with a crown. You rule with chains. The daimyo kneel, but you don't trust their bows. You invent the Sankenkeitai system, a masterstroke of control. Every daimyo must spend months living in Edo. While their families remain behind as hostages, they call it duty. You call it insurance. Loyalty wavers, well, accidents happen. Nothing motivates obedience quite like knowing your wife and children are within sword's reach. Your castle gleams with gold, but beneath the silk and lacquer, Edo reeks of fear. Whispers slither through the halls like snakes, always in cup. A misplaced dagger, every shadow is a killer's hand, and you sleep with one eye open. Katana never out of reach. At 32, the betrayal you fear doesn't come from rivals. It comes from your son. He dreams of the throne, your throne. You discover his coded letters, his whispered plots. The boy who once clung to your robes now conspires against you. And in your world, conspiracies are not forgiven. You order his death. His pleading eyes mirror your own as you slice through his neck. Blood on your hands, blood on your legacy. Your wife screams, cursing you as a monster. But you bury the guilt under iron. Heroes die. Monsters rule. Happy Father's Day. In most families, the worst gift is a tie. Yours is treachery, betrayal, and, well, a swift execution. Hallmark really dropped the ball on this one. At 40, your body begins to betray you. Edo's swampy air poisons your lungs, every cough spraying blood into silk sleeves. Your hands tremble, your skin turns the color of ash. But rebellions don't care if you're sick. They rise anyway, fueled by famine, taxes, and your iron grip. You burn villages to the ground. Fire becomes your signature. But each body you crush births 10 more enemies. Hatred spreads faster than your armies can march. By 50, your palace feels less like a seat of power and more like a tomb. Your wife prays openly for your death. Your children fear your footsteps. The daimyo smile at your feasts but sharpen blades in secret. You are still shogun, but only in name. In truth, you're a prisoner of paranoia guarded not by samurai, but by your own rotting body. At 53, you choke on your own blood. The man who ruled Japan with iron dies wheezing in a palace that feels more like a coffin. Your name, once feared across the land, fades to whispers. And within a single generation, the empire you forged through blood and betrayal begins to crumble. You killed for power, but power dies with you. The gods, it seems, are mortal too. You clawed, killed, and ruled with fear. But in the end, you died alone, despised, and forgotten. Was it worth it? That's the question history leaves us with. If you were shogun, would you have ruled with terror? Or would you risk kindness, knowing mercy can be a noose around your neck? Tell me in the comments. I read them all, even the curses. And if this journey through blood, betrayal, and broken thrones has hooked you, then subscribe. Not because I told you to, but because the next story will be even darker. And in history, the only thing sharper than a katana is curiosity. So sharpen yours. Subscribe. And let's carve through the past together.